Hey everybody, it's 8:30. Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room. Every night at 8:30, you join me in my war room, which is a room in my house that is kind of dedicated to my family's military service and the service of my friends and loved ones. And it's where the bar is. And that's why we meet here every night at 8:30 to have a drink and chill out and decompress from our crazy day, talk about what's going on and give each other support, and basically just to applaud each other for making it through another day. So congratulations. You made it through another day. What's up, John? How are you, Steven? Hey, Ash. What's up, Becky? Hey, Megan. It's also 4:20. Trisha says happy 4:20 at 8:30. Yeah, I'm sorry. We weren't going to do 4:20 on 4:20 in the war room, but we could wait a few hours and have cocktails in the war room at 8:30. So the first thing I'll do is say happy 4:20, and I am going to tell you that there's only ginger ale in my glass because I have not felt good all day, and for some reason my stomach has just not been okay today, and so I haven't really eaten a lot, and I'm drinking ginger ale right now. No, I'm not sick. I feel fine other than the fact that I woke up this morning with such an incredibly stiff neck, and I can move my neck like this. I can move my neck like this, but this way and that way, not so much. And I have been sore all day. So this is ginger ale because I am just not feeling well tonight. So cheers. Happy 4:20 to everyone that's celebrating properly. I'm trying to settle my stomach a little bit. I don't know if the milk I put in my coffee was bad this morning. I don't know exactly what was going on, but just have not been feeling right all day. Today, of course, was supposed to be Marathon Monday. And for anyone that has ever attended the marathon as a spectator, for anyone that's ever run the marathon, for all of the marathon volunteers, for anyone that's ever spent any time in the city of Boston, and to everyone that's here, Marathon Monday is supposed to be just an amazing day in the city. It's a day where we celebrate competition. It's a day that we welcome the world into our city. Obviously, in recent years, it's been a day for us to remember and reflect. But more importantly, like we talked about a few days ago on the 15th, which was Marathon Monday a year ago, continuing the marathon is also, in a very Boston way, raising the middle finger at those who thought that they were going to stop the marathon and stop the way that we did things. Little did we know that just a few short years later, the marathon would have to be postponed for the first time because of the coronavirus. So for all of the marathoners, for everyone that is part of the Boston Marathon 2020, your day is coming, your race is coming. A very good friend of mine, Matt, who is running the marathon this year, who ran it with me last year, did something that a lot of marathoners did today, and he went out on a run. He actually was down on the South Shore and ran a marathon today. Not the actual marathon route, which they asked people not to do, but went and ran 26.2 miles to continue his training anyway. He's kind of a badass and a total hardo, so that was how he wanted to spend his day today. He had asked me to be like his driving crew, to be with him. And because I felt like such crap today, and because I couldn't really turn my neck, I didn't want to drive today, so I stayed home and spent the entire day in pajamas on my couch snuggling with Wednesday, who somehow is still tired and napping right now. But I know a lot of the marathoners went out for a run today. Even if it wasn't 26.2 miles, they just went out and ran and wore their Boston Marathon gear. And so for all of the runners, cheers to you guys, and we will be there in September to cheer you on. Keep up the training, keep your heads up, because the race will be there. Mariah says a lot of people ran the actual marathon route today. I know, and the city told them not to, and they did it anyway, but people did do it today. Marcy said, I'm in Framingham, and it was weird. Rough Life Wednesday, says Brianna. Yeah, she is seriously living the. Listen, can I just tell you this? If anybody watching this believes in reincarnation, if you die unexpectedly, you need to push very hard to be reincarnated as a pug at my house. Because your next life, if you weren't an asshole in this life, will just be cush. Because she is just living the life in there right now. Where is she? Elsa wants to know. She's laying on the couch, snuggled up with the friggin' stingray still. Eric wants to know what's in the mug. I told you guys it's just ginger ale because my stomach is just not feeling well. And I'm really trying to just not have an upset stomach, especially because I would really like to take a handful of Advil right now to alleviate the pain in my neck. And I'm afraid that if I take Tylenol or Advil right now, it's just going to upset my stomach even more. Jeff, put an ice pack on your neck. I have had ice on it today, but it's still not feeling great. I don't know if I slept wrong or whatever, but I'm having ginger ale right now. Steven says the pug life. Yeah. Ron says, my philosophy is if you don't feel good, feel somebody else. Well, I'm in quarantine at the house. I mean, voluntary quarantine, but Melissa says your hair is on point. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. The dye is finally starting to come off of my head, and it's starting to actually look normal after the purple bloodbath that happened in my shower just a few short days ago. Before we put the drinks down momentarily, who's celebrating a 420 birthday? Cheers to you if it's your birthday. Today is my sister's birthday, and I am heartbroken because I didn't get to see her today. I hope she's watching this. Hello, happy birthday. I had planned on driving to her place and leaving a present on her steps, and again, I just did not feel up to it today, and I didn't get off the couch. Get yourself a neck massager, says Eric. Yeah, people don't buy those neck massagers to massage their necks, just so you know. And they're selling a lot of those on Amazon right now. But so I wanted to say happy birthday to my sister. And if you are celebrating a birthday today, you share it with Mikey Welsh from Weezer, Carmen Electra, and also Stephen Marley, who is Bob Marley's son, who was born on 420. Best birthday in the Marley family ever. Eric says today's Adolf Hitler's birthday as well. I know, but I wasn't gonna celebrate that. Dave says today's my grandson Jagger's 9th birthday. Happy birthday, Jagger! So, to everybody celebrating their birthday today, happy birthday. Today, 108 years ago, Fenway Park officially opened. JFK's grandfather threw out the first pitch. The Red Sox beat the New York Highlanders 7-6 in the 11th inning. And the news was overshadowed nationally by the news of the sinking of the Titanic. So right from the get-go, Boston has just gotten the shaft in sports. Always overshadowed, always the pissed-off underdog. But happy birthday, 108 years to Fenway Park, which is amazing. Also in the news today, Bon Jovi canceled the tour that they were doing with Bryan Adams that was going to bring them to the Garden this year. So that tour has been canceled. The Patriots also on Patriots Day debuted their new uniforms. So you can go to all of the Patriots social media pages and check out their navy uniforms. Also the white uniforms as well. Today, we also received 400 ventilators from the state of New York. A very kind gesture that the governor thanked the governor of New York, Governor Cuomo, for. Obviously, the two states between the masks that the Patriots delivered that were coordinated by Governor Baker, the favor being returned by New York, sending ventilators up here to Massachusetts. Mayor Walsh said today that he is not too confident that schools are going to open this year in the city of Boston. Mayor Walsh also announced a new resource website, bphc.org, which is an interactive map of testing sites with all of the testing times, etc., in and around the city of Boston. And also today, the CARES Act for unemployment benefits for self-employed and gig economy workers was activated, and you can go to mass.gov/PUA, which is Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. So go to mass.gov/PUA if you are a small business owner or you work in the gig economy, and you can get the unemployment assistance information right there. So also today, the governor announced the contact tracing partnership. That's happening with Partners in Health, and it's a program that's going to be based out of Massachusetts. They hired 1,000 workers, and this staff is going to be specifically trained on contact tracing so that they can start pinpointing positive cases, how those people were infected, and starting to trace the infection back so that they can start taking steps towards really getting the illness under control. As of today, there were 36,643 cases in the Commonwealth. There were total 169,398 people tested, just 7,157 people tested in the last 24 hours. There were another 103 fatalities in Massachusetts, and that brings the total up to 1,809 here in Massachusetts. There have also been 1,566 new cases that have been diagnosed, and currently right now in Massachusetts alone, there are 3,804 people being hospitalized for the coronavirus. So those are the numbers as they sit right now here in Massachusetts. Of course, you know, they differ in different cities, but Governor Baker saying today that we are in the middle of the surge right now. So obviously, the next week to 10 days, we're going to have a really good idea of where we stand with the infection. And now that they're doing the contact tracing, you know, a better idea of how people are being exposed and how we can get those people quarantined to stop the spread of the virus. So those are all of the crazy numbers today. On a personal note, I will tell you that my cousin, it's so scary because right now, I mean, think about it. 3,804 people are in the hospital right now, just in Massachusetts, just with the coronavirus. Never mind the people that are in the hospital because of other illnesses, childbirth, they're fighting cancer. I mean, all of the other reasons why you could be hospitalized, and then an extra 3,804. Case in point, my cousin fell down today and broke his arm so badly that he is having surgery tonight to put his arm back together. And so, of course, the whole family's freaking out because nobody can go see him. And he's going to be recovering from surgery in a hospital. And he works in the medical field. And it's everyone's biggest fear right now that you could end up in a hospital not having been exposed to the coronavirus, and that you could then end up in the hospital where you could possibly be exposed because something else happened. So this is one of those things where it's like, you're afraid to even leave the house and you want to bubble wrap yourself because you don't want to get exposed or have anything happen. So to my cousin who's in the hospital right now, it's just crazy. Kathy says my sister-in-law is in the hospital right now with the coronavirus. Marilyn says that even the White House announced that Massachusetts is now a hot spot. Eric says, my mom got tested, praying that it comes back negative. My grandmother says Al is one of the new cases. Let me see. There's so many comments coming in here about... somebody asking, can you explain what gig workers are? I believe gig workers are like musicians and performers and people that are affected by... like sound people, people that work in clubs. I believe that's what gig workers are. I could be wrong. If I am, please correct me. Let me see. Mimi says, one of my friends came off a quarantine today and 2 more tested positive for the virus just today. So these are the kinds of stories that are coming out. Jeff says self-employed. Will says Uber drivers as well. Trish says I got tested today. So they're just, Mickey says I believe Uber drivers are also considered gig employees as well. Damien says Chelsea is so crazy right now. EMTs have been denied testing because they don't want to admit their employees are working with COVID-19, someone says. Excuse me. I know that that testing facility in the parking lot of Gillette Stadium is there for healthcare workers, and I believe grocery employees are also being tested there as well. Marcy says a buddy of mine, oh, hold on, I have to put this down. Sorry, I'm moving so slow. Marcy says a buddy of mine down on the Cape, his wife passed. She had pre-existing conditions, which, you know, a lot of people that are testing positive that are having a really hard time, obviously, have pre-existing conditions. But a lot of people have asthma and diabetes and other pre-existing conditions that, you know, could make it harder to recover and to fight this virus. So, let me see. One of my high school friends was one of the 103 that passed today, Eric said. I am so sorry. It just, when you start hearing, you know, about all the people that are affected, one of the people that I told you about that I knew that was hospitalized, I got word today, is on the mend at home and still recovering, but definitely on the mend, which made me really happy to hear. Lori says, half of the medical staff on my unit are positive, work on a COVID unit. Hold on, these things are coming in so fast. Work on a COVID unit. It is so sad, Lori says. Sunny says, what have you been doing since WAF closed the doors? Well, the week after WAF closed the doors, I went to Vegas to a radio convention looking for a new job. And then I got home and started going on job interviews, and then the coronavirus hit. And from then on, I have been sitting in my house talking to you guys every night at 8:30, trying to figure out how I'm going to further a career in the entertainment business, which is completely stalled because of the virus. Paul says, my mother passed last month. Before all of this, she would have suffered from it for sure. Linda says, my son is a firefighter EMT and he just got tested. My friend's mom, Barbara said, is a retired nurse, passed from COVID. We all know somebody. It is getting to that point where if you don't know somebody that has passed from it, you definitely know multiple people that have contracted it and hopefully recovered. But it is just crazy how these numbers keep growing and how, you know, that 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon theory, there's no 6 degrees when it comes to the coronavirus right now. Brianna says, Carrie's been hanging out with us every night and making her backyard deluxe. Yeah, I think that's part of why my neck hurts so bad, is that I might have overdone it a little bit yesterday. Heidi says, a grocery store in Fall River lost 4 family members. I think the owners and relatives. It's very sad. Michelle says, get a talk show, think big. Well, we'll see. Cheers to you and your lofty goals for me. We'll see what happens. I mean, even people that have television talk shows right now are doing internet shows like I'm doing right now. So the playing field has been leveled for everyone. The ginger ale is helping my stomach, I will tell you that. Speaking of helping your stomach, I picked out an interesting drink tonight, and it's because of the words that are in it. I picked out the drink, which is called a Fortunella. The recipe is an ounce of Ketel One vodka, 3/4 of an ounce of Bombay Sapphire gin, 3/4 of an ounce of Caravella, a splash of Cointreau, a splash of Campari, and a teaspoon of candied kumquat nectar. And I just wanted to see if I could say candied kumquat nectar once without screwing it up. And I said it twice. You also need a twist of lemon to garnish and a twist of kumquat to garnish. I don't even know where you go and get a kumquat, but you need its nectar and a wedge of it as a garnish. You coat the shaker with the Cointreau and Campari, then discard the excess. Shake the rest of the ingredients and strain into a cocktail glass and serve with the garnish. It's the only recipe that I could find quickly that had the word kumquat in it twice. So that is called a Fortunella. And when this is all over, it is going on my list of things to do in the rebound, people are calling it, when we all start trying to get our lives back to normal is I am going to make a Fortunella because I want to know what kumquat nectar tastes like in a drink. Although that has gin in it, and I am not a gin fan, but I'm going to give it a shot. Steve says Whole Foods. All right, I guess that's where I'm headed to get kumquats. Oh, my friend Steph is watching. Steph, we said happy birthday to you last night. I hope you saw that. So happy delayed birthday. You know what else we forgot to celebrate last night? So we'll celebrate it today. Last night, we forgot to celebrate the 7th anniversary of You're a Stupid Dumbass That Hid in a Boat on Land in Watertown and Got Your Ass Arrested, Stupid Terrorist number 2. So today, we will celebrate 7 years ago today, you woke up in police custody and have been there ever since, you son of a bitch. Happy Boston Strong anniversary. And today is also Big Papi's This Is Our Fucking City anniversary. So to Big Papi, and the 7 years since his momentous F-bomb, this is our fucking city. Happy anniversary, Big Papi. The F word heard round the world. I can't believe that was 7 years ago. It blows my mind. And also 6 years ago today, I finished my first Tough Ruck. The one I was telling you about last night that it took me 10 hours and 10 minutes to finish. I did that 6 years ago today, which is just totally crazy. And everyone is just writing kumquat in the comments right now. You guys are killing me. And then, of course, there's the Blueberry Cobbler ever-present comment, which I love you guys for. So, yeah, everybody's saying Boston Strong, Big Papi. Hell yeah. That's why I did not wear a retro concert shirt for you guys tonight. I wore my Boston Strong shirt tonight because it's Big Papi's fuck yeah anniversary, and I just had to. So it's just fantastic. So cheers to Big Papi. I doubt he's watching right now, but maybe he is. I don't know. And yeah, if you guys just want to write fuck in the comments, go right on ahead. Lou says happy anniversary. Happy anniversary for the Tough Ruck. Thank you very much. One of the hardest things I have ever done besides run the Boston Marathon. Jen says, I miss baseball. I know. And today is the anniversary of Fenway Park. And it would have been great to be at Fenway's 108th anniversary on Marathon Monday, like on Patriots Day. Today would have been great. It was really good running weather for the athletes because it was kind of overcast and it was warm enough, but it wasn't raining, and it just would have been a really great running day today. But no matter the weather in September, it's going to be the perfect marathon running weather coming in September. Heather says she made sangria today. Did you make Fernandez's sangria? Paul says kumquat cobbler. Yum. Blueberry cobbler jokes are never, ever, ever going to get old, ever. My artifact for the war room tonight was another gift that I got from the special operations guys that I was supposed to be embedded with back in 2017. I thought it was really cool that they gave me that ISIS flag that I showed you weeks back. They also gave me this flag, which is, hold on, I want to get it so that you can see it. It's a green triangle flag that people in the military will recognize. It says YPJ on it. Oh, damn it. All right, hold on, I'm going to hold this up. And the YPJ is the Women's Defense Unit. It's an all-female militia that was involved in the Syrian civil war. There are thousands of them. And they have played a big part in hunting ISIS. And from what I've been told from people that have been in that part of the world fighting, the ISIS fighters fear the YPJ, because the only way to truly insult an ISIS fighter is to have a woman kill them, which is just, God, that's got to be a bitch. Sorry, guys. And so the YPJ fighters, the female fighters over there, are feared and absolute and total. Hard to hold with one hand, Melissa says. Yeah, tell me about it, especially when you have a stiff neck and you don't want to put your phone down and you're trying to figure it out. And so that was one of the flags that those guys brought back after they came home on some of the missions that I was supposed to be there with. So I love that you guys are able to answer questions that people have asked before. Somebody asked, obviously, about my necklace, and Brianna said something to do with skydiving. I don't know. I don't jump out of functional planes. First of all, Brianna, there are a lot of planes that crash all the time. So jumping out of them, the most dangerous part of being in a plane is takeoff and landing. So if you don't land in them, your odds of surviving go up 50%. That's how I rationalize jumping out of them anyway. Wendy says it's something to do when you pull the chute. It's called a closing pin. So that when you pull your handle, the closing pin slips out of this loop, and that's what allows your canopy to come out of the container that you wear on your back. So yes, you guys are correct. I love that you're having these little conversations amongst yourselves. Ralph says, I am selling my rock and metal collection for COVID-19, over 7,000 CDs. I'm sure, Ralph, you have an incredible collection. So you can reply to Ralph if you're interested in maybe buying some of his collection of music, which would be fantastic. Melissa says it's way too much for you to answer all of our questions. I do try, though. Steven says it is kind of close to an Italian horn, though. It is, but it's its own thing for sure. So, and I've worn it for years. It's like I don't even notice that I'm wearing it anymore. So when people ask me about my necklace, I'm like, my necklace? Oh, yeah, that's right. My closing pin, absolutely. Terrence said, I did some work for Autism Awareness Month today. That is fantastic. Is that laundry in the background? Damien wants to know. No, those are my ticking clocks. The clocks that are in the war room. It's always ticking. I don't notice it, but you guys always do, and it makes me laugh because you guys notice things that I forget. So when I'm sitting in here, where is the cute little monster Wednesday? Tony wants to know. Wednesday, come here. What's Mommy got? This is what she just did because she's on the couch in the other room. She just did this. She picked up her head, opened her eyes, closed them, and put her head back down. She's not impressed. She only wants to be the star of this show when she wants to be the star of the show, not when we want her to be there. It's just when she feels like she wants to take over the show. And when she does, you've seen her do it, totally hyperactive, with the crinkly, noise-making stingray, and then comes over here, knocks all the pillows off the couch, and then usually falls asleep, or then just runs out of here like the Tasmanian devil, and she takes off. Christina says, where is the fucking stingray? She's probably snuggling with it right now, because she loves the friggin' thing. It's unreal. She has, first of all, a giant basket of toys. I have never had a dog, and she is my 5th pug. I have never had a dog that played with so many toys as she does. And while she has her favorites, she plays with all of them. She'll just go over and pick up some random toy off the floor and be obsessed with it for like 5 minutes, and then she'll drop it, and then she'll go and pick up the stingray or her favorite or something else, and then she'll just go running in the other room. Where is her cocktail? The one that I bought for her birthday? She likes it, but not as much as the stingray. The stingray, she just loves. It's one of those BarkBox toys, and it's made for dogs that, oh shit, that hurts. It's made for dogs that like shake aggressively, and she likes to do that every now and again, so that's why I bought it for her. So she uses the cocktail from time to time, but the stingray is way more her favorite. Mariah says, I took my dog to the vet today for an ear infection. I mean, they're even doing like priority pet appointments. Wednesday was due just to go in for her annual physical, and they called and asked if they could postpone it until, everything, settles down. Obviously, the vets are still staying open, just, like doctor's offices for, emergencies. And, we talk about it all the time about how much our pets mean to us right now, especially if you live alone and you at least got your, best pal companion. I can't imagine, like we talk about losing a loved one right now, I can't imagine losing a pet right now or having to make that difficult decision when it's time to let them go. Like, I just can't imagine. One thing that I did read that I was really happy about is, I believe it was in Florida. My friend Hillary posted this article up today, that they were supposed to stop dog racing, I believe at the end of this year. I believe it was in Florida. You guys are going to have to fact check me on this, but I read the article earlier today. And because of all of the closings of the racetracks, they have stopped dog racing early. And there are like 1,500 racing dogs down in Florida that are now going to be up for foster and adoption. So if you are looking to expand your family a little bit and you're interested in adopting a greyhound, there are a ton of greyhounds that are now up for adoption down south. And I'm sure that you can go online and get some more information on that. But I thought that that was one of the great things that's coming out of all of these stories right now, is that a lot of animal shelters are actually empty because so many people are seeking that kind of companionship. And I think, you know what, I saw this meme too that really kind of hit home, that it was a meme talking about how humans are having a really hard time with being socially isolated. And it showed pictures of animals that are isolated in zoos and how sad they are. And I think there's a lot of people that are starting to make the correlation between the animals that they see in the cages in shelters and how you're kind of feeling in your own home right now. And so the fact that so many people are fostering animals and adopting animals right now makes me so happy, because the companionship, you can't replace it. I mean, anyone that has a pet, I don't care what kind of pet you have, just having that pet, just having Wednesday in the house with me has meant everything to me. And I'm one of those people that if I won the lottery, I'm not quite as hardcore as Danielle is, but I'm one of those people that if I could handle having 1,000 pugs, which, by the way, a large group of pugs is called a grumble, which is just the greatest word ever. So I would have a grumble of pugs in a heartbeat. Like, I wish that I could adopt every pug that needed a home. And if I win Powerball, you know exactly what I'm probably going to be doing. So the fact that so many people are rescuing animals right now, that the shelters are starting to empty out, just makes me so happy. I just hope, and you're a total asshole if you do this, that if you rescue animals right now, that there isn't an influx of animals that then get abandoned when all of these social distancing restrictions and these quarantines are over. I really hope that people just don't get rid of these animals because they served some kind of purpose for them, and then they're not going to serve a purpose once this is all over. So yes, Monica says a pug farm. Like, can you imagine me with a pug farm, like with a big pug barn and like pastures, and there would just be snorting, like heavy breathing, snot spewing little fat dogs running. Oh. If there is a heaven and I am good enough in this life to get into it, I just want to just run through rolling hills with grumbles of pugs. Like, that to me would just be heaven. So just please, if you want to adopt an animal, please do so, and then just spoil the shit out of them. And I just really hope that people, like people that buy bunnies and then like 3 months after Easter, they get rid of the bunnies, or, the idiots whose kids see, 101 Dalmatians and they go get a Dalmatian puppy and realize they're super hyper dogs and they can't handle them. And so just, Carrie's Grumble Farm, Tony says. Yes, that would be amazing. Let me see. Wendy, I can't open the rest of your message, but she says, I'm in rescue and it is not as quite as you think. I volunteer for a cat shelter in Woodstock, Connecticut, and it's kitten something. I can't read the rest of it, but if you're saying that there's lots of kittens, I'm sure that there are going to be a lot of people looking to adopt kittens right now. So open your heart and take in an animal right now, because it looks like we're going to be in the houses. If the mayor of Boston is saying he's not confident that the schools are going to open. I mean, we could be in the houses through Memorial Day. I mean, we don't know, or through June. We just really don't have any idea. No more rock stars, just pugs, Lou says. Look, there's a lot of rock stars that have pugs. Rob Zombie has a pug. There's a bunch of people. I think Morgan from Seven Dust had pugs. There's a bunch of rock stars that have pugs because pugs are awesome. Still Heart says, do you have any pugs now? Yeah, I have Wednesday. The napping pug puppy in the other room. I am so coming to Carrie's Grumble Farm, says Alyssa. Yeah, wouldn't that be great? Oh my God, I would be so happy. That would just be awesome. By the way, thanks to everybody that's been following Wednesday on Instagram. Yes, she has her own Instagram. It's Wednesday the Goth Pug is her handle on Instagram. Jackie says New Hampshire schools are canceled for the rest of the season, and spring sports are also canceled, and we are hunkered down, she says. So yeah, we don't know right now how long we're going to be in the house, so why not get an animal and spoil the hell out of them in the house and laugh when they do funny things, like when Wednesday knocks the pillows off my couch every night. Brianna says pugs are party animals and natural rock stars. Yeah, because they're giant bullheaded dogs that are crammed into little itty bitty bodies. So they still have attitude that makes them think they can chase the UPS truck in the driveway, as we learned. Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne have a pug as well. A lot of people in the royal family in England have pugs as well. Lindsay says Maine, all of the schools are down for the rest of the year as well. Ed, you almost adopted a pig. Oh, Ed, you have to adopt a pig. Please adopt a pig. Please, please, please adopt a pig so I can come and play with it. That would be amazing. Cassie says my German Shepherd needs a friend. Well, you could get a Greyhound, I believe, from Florida. Somebody check that article for me, please. Someone needs to make Carrie's Grumble Farm t-shirts stat. Maybe that's how I could pay all my bills now that I'm painfully unemployed. That would be fantastic. I would love to foster a pug, Monica says. I can tell you, I don't know if they're looking for fosters right now, but Pug Rescue of New England, which is called Prone. I adopted my pug Autumn from there. Of course, she passed away last year, but they are always looking for fosters. That's Pug Rescue of New England. You can find them on Facebook. No one will ever want to buy a house after this shit. I am buying a tent. House pigs are a ton of maintenance. We have Frank, and it's like a toddler, says Al. You have a pig named Frank? That is amazing. Portland, Oregon is not taking things seriously. Hold on. And protests in Washington, it's also crazy, says Kat. I know. Jessica says we also need cocktails in the War Room shirts. That is a factual statement. We're going to work on that as well. I have the Pugs and Roses shirt, too, that I wore the other day. So I think Monster Kitty needs a sibling as well, Krista says. I saw a pig walking down the street yesterday, says Lindsay. I would love to have... So first of all, I always wanted to have pugs, but then I thought about having 2 pugs and 2 English bulldogs and naming them John, Paul, George, and Ringo. That was like my dream when I was younger, is that I thought I was going to have 4 of them. Frankfurter, Al Dente says, that's amazing. But then I realized how much work 2 bulldogs and 2 pugs would be, and that's really not going to work out that well. But sorry, you guys are commenting so fast. I'll have to show you pics of my uncle's pig, says Kathy. Yes. Where did I get the Pugs and Roses shirt? I wonder where I got that, Ed. Thank you for my shirt, Ed. Snoopy the pug dog. Jared said, do it and hand them out at the get-together. Maybe I won't hand them out, but maybe that'll be part of the charity angle. In case you missed it the other day, we were all talking about having a Cocktails in the War Room reunion at a local establishment when all of these restrictions get lifted, and doing it for some kind of charity. So maybe we'll make t-shirts and we'll sell those for charity as well. That would be really cool. CustomInc.com carry t-shirts. I think they're pretty cheap. We're not making cheap shirts. I have a friend that owns a t-shirt company. He's the one that made all of the t-shirts for my trips overseas. He also made all of my Tough Ruck Team WAF t-shirts. My friend Brian up at Whirlwind Productions in Derry, New Hampshire. So if I were going to get t-shirts made, I would want a local t-shirt producer to make them, because we got to support local businesses. That's one of the things we need to focus on when all of this lets up, when we're finally all starting to get back to normal, is really trying to support all of the local businesses that were closed. They are going to need us more than ever when we all start putting all of our lives back together. There are so many big giant companies like Target and Walmart and Amazon and a lot of the big supermarket chains and the big national food companies. They don't need our money as much as the local businesses do. So I am going to do everything I can when we put this event together to make sure that it helps a local charity, that the shirts are made locally and in the United States, and that it is going to be held at a local establishment as well, because we need to support as many of these local businesses as we can. So if I'm going to put my big foot down, that's going to be it, that we have to do it in a way that's going to help as many local businesses as we can. So Will says, have it with Wachusett Brewing Blueberry Cobbler beer. Oh my God, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. So we will figure it all out. We just, Wendy says nonprofits are getting forgotten right now. Donations are down across the board. One, because people just don't have any money, and two, the money that people have been donating have been going to supply PPE for the healthcare workers. So a lot of other really worthy nonprofits who are used to donations at this time of year aren't getting them. So Eric says, your big foot. See, now it's funny that, so after I told, oh my God, I had the hiccups again. After I told you guys the story about my big foot and my little foot, now you know why Mike Shue calls my little foot the talent, because that's what he's called it for years. So Brianna says small local businesses for sure. Steve says buy a dog or a cat, or buy dog and cat food for shelters with your stimulus checks. Well, that's one of the things that when you're going to get the stimulus money, is just to make sure that you're being super cautious about how you spend it. I mean, obviously you're going to need to buy what you need to buy for your family, but if you have the option of buying local to help your family, definitely try to do that. Kara says donate to animal shelters. Kitten season is here, which is what I believe the last comment about all of the kittens down in Woodstock, Connecticut was about. Because everything is going to be off. And when we get down towards the holidays with the food banks and Toys for Tots and organizations that rely on holiday donations, every nonprofit is going to be struggling to raise money right now. Justin says tequila hiccups. No, I'm drinking ginger ale. I'm not drinking booze tonight because my stomach isn't feeling very well. Speaking of that, chewing the ice. Speaking of that, don't forget about Temple Tuesday tomorrow. We're doing mocktails in the War Room tomorrow, and we are drinking Shirley Temples as a show of support for all the people that are in recovery that have been joining us for Cocktails in the War Room every night, and as a way for us to encourage people that are struggling with their addictions while they're handling the isolation and all of the other stresses, to really just encourage people to stay on the straight and narrow and to keep their recovery going so that they all feel supported. I'm going to give my liver a break tomorrow night as well with a little bit of Shirley Temple action. So we're going to do that tomorrow night. So Kimberly says my rent just went up, so goodbye stimulus check. Well, there you go. Not the greatest of news. Brianna says, Carrie, you want to come down to Gillette and fill boxes for vets with me? We responsibly social distance. That's right. Down at Gillette Stadium in parking lot number 5, they have been doing meals for veterans. They've been packing boxes with 2 weeks worth of food for veterans, and I would love to come down and do that. I actually was messaging some people that were there doing it today to find out the next time they were doing it and how I could help. So yeah, don't be surprised if you see me down at Gillette packing boxes, because I would love to do that. So make sure, Dawn says, make sure your septic system is working properly. Totally random, but yeah, absolutely. We all got to make sure that we're watching our septic tanks, as we're all spending way too much time in the house. Brianna says, we hit 1 million boxes down at Gillette for veterans. That is amazing. That's 1 million meals that they have handed out since all of this started, which is just, that's just amazing. And don't forget, don't flush your wipes. Don't flush your wipes. All right, guys, that's it for me. I am going to go get some more ice on my neck and take some Advil, and hopefully my neck is going to feel better tomorrow. Also, don't forget, tomorrow at 6 o'clock, I'm going to be on Sully Erna's Hometown Session show on his YouTube channel, 6 o'clock tomorrow. So tune in for that. And then I will see you guys tomorrow night at 8:30 for Mocktails in the War Room. Once again, thank you guys, everybody that is hard at work, being essential. Thanks to all the volunteers that have been feeding the veterans at Gillette. Thank you to all of the healthcare workers and the first responders, the truck drivers, the people delivering packages, the people maintaining all of our utilities, the retail workers and the people stocking the shelves, and everybody working hard to make sure that we can go and buy the things that we need to keep life as normal as possible in our houses. If you have family members that are ill, just know that all of us here in the war room are sending you love. And obviously, if you've lost someone that you love through all of this, it is unimaginable that you have not been able to mourn the loss of your loved one properly, but know that you've got a huge support system here, and that we love you. Don't lick anything weird. Wash your damn hands. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Maybe Wednesday. I'll pay us a visit tomorrow night. We'll see if she'll grace us with her presence. All right, guys. I love you guys. Stay safe. Stay healthy. I'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.